All right, looks like we're all set. Let's do this. Let's go. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I hope you're all doing great. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. I'm Pierre, your host. Welcome to my studio. And like usual, we are going to go over to the computer and we are going to check out what we did last Friday, and then we're going to take it from there. So let's do that right now. Let's go over, and what did we do last Friday before we partied all weekend? We added the yellow paint to our stars. Not all of them, just the ones that were in the corners and in the middle of our frame. After that, what did we do? We put a second coat of the cerulean blue on the sperms, and then we added some darker cerulean as shading. And then to finish the whole thing, we just added a little bit of yellow to the center of our stars. So that's what we did last Thursday. And what are we going to do today? Well, it's time to tackle the centerpiece. So I am not sure how long today's stream is going to be because unfortunately we're not in summer anymore and the paint takes a lot longer to dry. So I might only be able to put in the first coat of paint and then maybe do the outline, hoping that that first coat of paint will be dry enough to put a second coat, then some highlights. But honestly, I doubt it. So let's not waste any time. Let's get a palette together. I am going to go with a blue, one of my favorite blues actually. We're going to go with, I guess, a cobalt blue. That is what we are going to do. I'm just going to get a little palette together by ripping off the older coat of paints. There we go. That's it. Give me a hard time on a Monday morning. Just what I needed to start my week. Oh, actually feeling good. Did my Tai Chi Kung this morning. Took a shower. Came over to the studio. I hear we're still on major lockdown here in France, and I heard like the President Macron is going to be again speaking on Wednesday about this whole thing. I don't know what he's going to talk about. Probably, I think, has to do with the high schools. Maybe there will be some changes there. I know my son, who's 16, is going to school, and they have to wear a mask. There's social distancing in the classroom and whatnot. But I have a feeling things are going to change on Wednesday. We'll see what comes about. So I got my palette all done. Got my cobalt right here. Get my faithful little knife. And let me just look at the surface we have here. I am going to have to put 2 coats, no doubt about it. I'm just worried that I won't be able to get the second coat on today, which will mean it's going to be a very, very short stream. Last week was a very short stream as well. I think we did one stream that was only 19 minutes long, which was my shortest stream ever. And who knows, today we might even break that record. But we'll see. Okay, got the materials nicely cleaned up. And I'm going to get a paintbrush. We're going to mix this paint to get the right texture, and then we're going to apply it to the canvas. I guess this would be a good paintbrush. So we're just going to add water to the paint. I mean, it's not the most complicated thing to do. And we're actually going to do that together on camera number 1, which is way over here. I'll bring you a lot closer because I have a little bar stool right here where I can put a little bit of water just to make it easier. So here we are. Let's blend all this together, get that texture that we like. We're not going to do it too thick, get the paint in too thick, because we do want this to dry rather quickly. And actually, I'm going to set this down for 1 second. I am going to go to my other camera here. Just turn it a little bit so you can see what I'm going to do. Because I do have my electric fan back here, which I am going to move it. Closer so that it will blow on the paint, and hopefully that will give it a little boost in the drying time. So I'll just bring this back to its place, which is more or less right there, I guess, right? I guess I can put it back just a little bit like that to get the whole painting in there. Very good. And so we are still stuck on that other little camera, right? And I forgot to switch cameras. That's great. Okay, I guess it's no big deal. It is Monday. We do have to wake up. So let's get back to work. So I am not sure I have enough paint here. Finally. Do I have enough paint here for that? I doubt it. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm just going to add a little more cobalt blue. Because by the looks of it, I don't think I'll have enough. So I'm just going to add a little bit more. Not that it's really crucial, because I could have made it a little later. It's crucial to have the right amount of paint when you're blending colors together, because to find that original color is not that obvious. So that's when you want to make sure you have the right quantity. But when it's paint that's just coming out of the tube the way this one is, it's really no big deal. So let's go back over here where we can blend this in together. I'll try to get that right texture. Oops. Need a little bit more water. There we go. Since I know this is going to need 2 coats, I'm not going to put it on too thick. But at the same time, I don't want it dripping all over my painting. So I have to find that happy little middle line. And this looks pretty good right there. Okay, that looks good. So I'll pull the camera back, lift it up, because that's what we're going, right? For that white circle right there. I am going to turn the fan on low, because I do have my hair is wet. I didn't wash it, and I sure as hell don't want to catch a cold. Okay, so let's do this. Okay, I have to be careful here because this brush is not ideal to make this perfect circle on the outside. There's a lot of hairs that are uncontrollable. I can see all the paint brush marks that I'm going to get rid of with the second coat. So I'm going to try to put this on as thinly as possible so it dries. And even that's going to be somewhat of a challenge, even with the fan on. Okay. All right, very good. Again, I'm trying to keep the amount of paint to a minimal. Because the second coat, I will use a very different brush, a lot softer brush, which will hide all the brush marks. Okay, very good. Just step back for a second, take a look. Okay, very good. Okay, very good. So tomorrow we probably will have a pretty good show, because tomorrow is going to be our 100th stream that we've done live. So we are going to have musicians, balloons, champagnes, strippers. It's going to be an awesome show tomorrow. So be sure to be here for that, starting again at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. And so that should be pretty cool. And let me see, where we at here? Okay. So I should have done this last Friday so it'd be dry, but I had no idea on Friday what I was going to paint, what color I was going to do that centerpiece. So it's kind of not that obvious. This painting has been a pain in the neck since the beginning. I mean, I usually have a color scheme. I know what I'm going to do, or I have an idea what I'm going to paint as a motive or as a person or whatever. With this painting, it's been total chaos since the beginning. I've improvised right from the very start because I had no idea what I was going to do. So this was the result. So it was like a mishmash of a whole bunch of different, trying new things, new colors and whatnot. But so I'm very uncomfortable with the result of this painting. I have no idea how it's going to end, if it's going to look okay or not. But anyways, every painting can't be a $1 million masterpiece. So anyways, what I have to do right now is sort of make a decision of where I'm going to go with this today. So I'm looking on the computer at the painting from afar. I guess it'll look okay. We'll see. What I do know, though, is that I can't, even doing this outline on the outer edge. Well, let's try it. Let's try it. If it works, great. If it doesn't work, I'll just stop and we'll call it quits for today. So what do I need for that? I just need black paint, basically another palette. And then for this, I'm going to have to get the right kind of brush. And I usually always gravitate back to this one. This is kind of my go-to to do circles with. Even though I do have a few other choices right here. So once I decide on the paintbrush, then I will decide, then we can work the paint. Or this one. I have several choices. This one might be a little too wide. Okay, so I'll get these two brushes ready as I get the black paint ready as well. And we'll take it from there. They'll also give a few seconds for the blue paint to dry. Okay, so black paint, fearless knife. And let's go digging for it. There we go. And like usual, we're going to clean off the brush. There we go. And clean off the knife, I should say, more or less. I'm thinking of like 6 different things at the same time. Okay. Let's get that out of the way. I made quite a bit of paint here, but it doesn't matter. We can always put it back in the jar when we're done. So I'm going to put him aside. And let's work this out. Again, I'll come back to there we go. Just switch cameras and we can work this paint out together. There we go. Again, not rocket science. Just black paint, water. And we just work it to get that right texture where we have total control over this paint. Especially to do a circle like that, you want to make sure that you have total control over the brush and the paint. Unbutton my shirt. I was a little chilly. It's very damp in my studio. And even though it's a gorgeous day outside, I was a little cold earlier. So I buttoned up my shirt, but now it seems to be now that I'm moving on warming up. Okay, so again, I want this to be kind of liquidish, but I want to keep its opacity as maximum as possible. And it looks like I'm getting very close to what I like it. The texture I like my paint to be, this kind of creamy texture here. And yet it doesn't drip. So that's kind of what we want. So how is this? Is this the right? Is this what I want? I think it is. Okay, so let's try it. If not, I'll just add a drop of water later. So let's bring up the camera and move it out of the way for a second so I don't stand in front of it when I do my circle. And I'll zoom in here. So it's nice and shiny because of the reflection of the sunlight on the wet paint. So, okay, let's give it a try. And let's see how this all works out here. Okay, there was like a little hair on this painting that was bothering me, but apparently it was there since before. So, okay, so let's try this. I am just concentrating on the inner circle. I'll worry about the outer part afterwards. Okay, so far so good. I'll just move the camera again over just a little bit. There we go. Okay. So far so good. I'm going to make it a little wider, but first I just want to get that inner circle done. Okay, so what does that look like? Okay, not bad. Not bad at all. Now let's work on the outer circle. I would like it to be a little wider, so I will start right here maybe. The outer circle I can always do a little faster. I don't have to be that precise. Okay, let's step back and bring it into perfection now. Well, geez, I hate to say it, but it looks pretty damn good. I just have two little spots here that I gotta work out, like right here maybe, this upper left-hand corner. How's that look? Okay, doesn't look that bad. Let me just see if I can cheat a little bit there. I'd rather try to take a little bit off here than having to make the whole thing a lot wider. There we go. And then I can just smooth it over. Just like that. And I saw in the upper right hand corner here just a little bit more here as well. Yes, there we go. Very good. Okay, well, now what does that give us? It gives us a very nice circle indeed. Okay, very nice. So we are not very far from having that centerpiece dry, but I'm sure it'll take another 15-20 minutes, not that long. But there's nothing more I can do, really, to be honest with you, to kill some time. What I can do, though, is start fixing a little here and there some of these details. For example, right here, bring the splattering down so it touches the circle. That's about it. All the way around looks pretty good. So, I'm afraid that this is going to be the end of our stream. I can't do anything else until I get that second coat in there. And if I try doing it now, it's just going to muck up the whole painting. So it's giving me a hard enough time as it is. I'm not going to make it even worse. So what we're basically going to do is that we are going to end our stream right here. I'll probably cheat and put in a second coat a little later when that first coat is dry. Like that tomorrow we can tackle right away the details and actually start the main motif inside that circle. So it's been a short stream, 35 minutes basically. Last time was 19 minutes, so we didn't beat our shortest record, but it's pretty short as is. Anyways, I want to thank you again for joining me. I want to remind you that tomorrow is our 100th stream, which is going to be cool. Hopefully Jalil will come and play some music. We'll have some champagne, balloons, strippers. I mean, it's going to be a blast. So anyways, join me for that tomorrow. Like usual, I'm going to leave you with my schedule and by saying, ciao mes amis.